Why do some hobbies feel objectively cooler? I'm going to talk about why some hobbies feel cooler. And I think you all know what I mean by cool. I don't mean cool as in like, okay, in this little group or in this little social place, it's cool. Like, let's say you're in a computer lab, this one person wrote a very complicated program. Whoa, it's so cool. I mean, just like in general, why do they feel cooler to the general public? And like when you talk about it, you're like, oh yes, that is a cool hobby. First off, I'm going to start off by separating all of the hobbies into three main groups: athletic hobbies, mental hobbies, creative hobbies, and then intersection hobbies. First off, athletic, that's things like ball sports like basketball or football, things like climbing, things like martial arts, judo, stuff like that. And then we have mental. Mental are things like programming or chess. We have creative, which are like drawing, reading, writing, something that lets your creative energy flow. Then you have the intersection hobbies, right? For instance, the intersection hobby between athletic and mental could be like chess boxing. The intersection hobby between mental and creative could be something like programming. And the intersection hobby between creative and athletic, I'm not really sure. Maybe like paintball, because you can kind of paint with that. What makes them feel cool, right? I think we can all agree something like chess is cool only if you're very good. Right? If you're like, oh yeah, I play chess a lot and you're not that good, then why even bother say it, right? If you're like, oh yeah, I do programming, but I'm just learning, that's all right, but it's not cool. So you need to find the balance between skill level. That's one thing that you need to focus on balancing if you want to find a cool hobby, or what makes a hobby cool. It needs to then be cooler to the general public, meaning that it would be depicted as such to the general public. For instance, characters on television, like back in the day, Max Steel or Johnny Test or anything like that. It's like, oh, skateboarding, right? Skateboarding was depicted as very, very cool. Playing the guitar, that's also depicted as cool because so many cool characters in television or movies or podcasts or anything are depicted as playing the guitar or skateboarding or doing things like that. That's what draws people to doing drugs sometimes, because cool characters are shown as doing that, or cool role models and figures in their lives are doing that. And they're like, oh, okay, that seeds the idea in my brain and I'm going to be doing that maybe. However, you do not want it to be too general. For instance, football, or what Americans call soccer, everybody plays football here in Europe. Everybody. Like, it's not even close. Almost everybody plays football. In America, it's more basketball, maybe baseball, I don't know. Here, everybody plays football. When you're during recess, everybody's playing football. When you guys meet up, it's sometimes it's football. And that's just something that everybody does, which means it's not considered extremely cool, right? Unless you're bad at it, then it's like, and then unless you're very good at it, then it's like, oh, wow. So once again, the curve is very, very high. You have to fall on the right side of the curve, and you need to fall very high on the right side of the curve for it to be considered cool. So until now, we know it needs to have a certain skill level to be considered a cool hobby. So you need to be very, very good at it. It needs to appeal to the general public, as in being shown through figures or being mentioned or something like it being mentioned. And it needs to be niche enough that it's not something that everybody does. For instance, chess boxing, that could be pretty cool. Like, imagine saying, hey, this hobby is called chess boxing. Chess boxing, you do this, this, and this. It combines mental and it combines athletic. Not many people do it, but I'm pretty good at it. And that makes it a very cool hobby. Thank you all for watching. This has been more of a short video. It was a request from a person called Borbzabi, I think. Borbzabi. Comment what you want me to talk about later. Comment what you don't want me to talk about. Comment what I did well. Comment what I didn't do well. Thank you all for watching. If you watched to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.